Sports. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's how we roll. It's wins and losses, highs and lows. It's effort, respect, and dedication. The High School Sports Beat. Sports. It's who we are.
Hello, everybody. Welcome and thanks for joining us on the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. We continue our look back at 10 years of covering Section 5 sports with a look back at PJ Ransford of the historic Pittsford swim program. Here's Bill Paco.
Which brings us to Pittsford and a visit with the middle Ransford. There's always someone's shadow to swim out from in Pittsford. For Patrick J. Ransford, PJ, those former Panthers include fellow all-Greater Rochester swimmers Matt Tanchik and Ransford's own brother Shay. With younger brother Casey now full-fledged varsity team member too, PJ is the middle Ransford.
The middle Ransford, PJ is probably one of Section 5's elite. He's on the verge of the New York State Public High School 500 record. He was only about 3 seconds off last year. So, I mean, in the lores of Pittsford swimming and Section 5 swimming, he ranks right up there as one of the top swimmers of all time.
Training with my older brother was one of the best things for me. We always pushed each other. I never wanted to lose to him. He never wanted to lose to me. And even now with Casey, who's a little bit younger, he definitely is gonna make it big in the future. So I'm really excited to see what he gets to.
It is truly PJ's turn. PJ holds the fastest times for Section 5 season in the 200 free, 200 IM, the 100 butterfly, and the 500 free, where his time is also the best in the state. Ransford also ranks second in the 100 freestyle, third in the backstroke, and fourth in the breaststroke. Thanks in part to PJ, Pittsford has posted the best times in all 3 relay events. In the pool, especially in the pool perhaps, variety is the spice of life.
If you swim something too many times, there's a tendency to get too comfortable with the event and not to be so hungry, and especially their personal events. So we try and swim him all around. A lot of the kids, they get different events. It keeps them fresh, sort of, mentally and physically. So when it's time to perform their best in their best event, they're ready and they're hungry to do that again.
Ransford swam the 200 IM and the 200 freestyle along with a relay at this meet in Rush Henrietta last week. It's among the last of these small dual meet experiences for the Michigan University-bound athlete.
I've swam at these pools my whole life, ever since I was a little 6-year-old and started swimming. This is the type of venue that most of the meets are at. But I think it's really cool that from now on, I'll be at a lot of really nice facilities and it's going to be a lot of fun.
At Michigan, Ransford will follow in the footsteps of his brother and dad.
I think the thing that I'm most excited about is I'm going to get to train with some of the best athletes in the world, especially in the distance events. That's kind of their specialty. So I think it'll be a great opportunity for me, and I think it could really take my swimming to the next level.
How good can he be?
It's up to him. It really, it's hard to say, especially in sport of swimming. When you look at the Ryan Lochte's and the Michael Phelps out there, they're still breaking world records, and they're in their late 20s, early 30s. So this sport hasn't seen a decline yet of age. So it really, it's up to PJ how far he wants to take it.
PJ went on to a very successful career at Michigan with too many accolades to mention them all, but he was a 3-time All-American and a 4-time academic All-American. Currently, PJ is applying for his master's degree in the field of robotics, working in Miami, Florida. Well, coming up next, Matt Trabold joins us for the High School Notebook. We've got that and more when the High School Sports Beat continues. Hello once again and welcome back to the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. It is time now for the High School Notebook, and that means it is time for Matt Trabold. Matt, thanks once again for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Let's start off talking girls basketball, Matt. Let's talk about Penfield. They've been so good for so long. Do they once again have what it takes to make it happen?
Unsurprisingly, Penfield Girls basketball was yet again one of the select teams at the very end last season in sectional play. The quality and quantity of talent that moved on with graduation was certainly mighty. That includes Nayara Simmons, current Fordham Ram, Bailey Teal, and Jessica Ranieri. With that being said, though, this program is known for reloading big time and seamlessly time and time again. Coming back from the starting front court last season is one of the most notable returning players in the entire section, and certainly one of the tallest. That's the accomplished Haley Emick. She was sidelined for the season opener versus Brighton, who also didn't have their star, Kiara Anglin. Head coach Mark Vogt says they are extremely hopeful to get her back later this season. The Patriots have a junior, Kennedy Cohn, who is even taller at 6'2". Another junior in Eva Elliott showed right off the bat in the opener that she is poised for a breakout this season. She scored a career-high 19 points, 17 in the first half against those Bruins. Another junior, Elisa Ficlaris, is going to star this season after being a key bench piece a year ago.
Turning the boys now, talking about a team that can make it happen year after year. The McQuaid basketball team has a great run as far as sectional final appearances go. Will they be back once again this season?
Like you said a second ago, McQuaid Jesuit came into the season after 3 seasons in a row, reaching the Class AA sectional final against University Prep, including advancing past that game into state play a couple of times. Graduated from the school are 2 of the most accomplished scorers in the program's very storied history, Kobe Long and current St. Bonaventure Bonnie Jermaine Taggart. It was never a question who was going to be the main man for the team this season. That's senior guard Keith Warren. And that was solidified even more when the big man Darren Blocker went over to East. Even with Taggart and Long last season, Warren had a number of scoring explosion games. At any time he could hit threes on 2 or 3 possessions in a row. He gets hot whenever he really wants to. He's going to have points in every game like that. Plus, he improved inside the arc this past offseason. Coming into this year, football stars Joe Cairns and Jordan Brongo have gone from helpful role players to the top options besides Warren on this team. Cairns was known for taking charges last year, and he still does all the little things this season, despite having a bigger role in the squad. He took 3 charges in the second quarter alone in the season opener. He is the high school version of Wisconsin's Brad Davison. He is the big name for that in college because he's a high school quarterback, just like Davison was, who is known for taking charges. A supporting player who could have a breakout this year is 6'5" junior Max Shelm.
Let's talk about the Webster Schroeder boys now and some familiar faces on that squad. They've been there for a while. What does this team look like for this coming season?
Senior guard Luke Inslee and senior forward Kymera Meeks have been legitimate producers for the Schroeder Warriors since they were freshmen in the program. Inslee is certainly en route to ending his career as one of the very top scorers in program history, and he bulked up a good amount visually from last season, which will help him compete even better against taller guards going forward. Meeks is a big-time defender among other attributes, and he is going to block plenty of shots this season. His second jump is such an asset for that, and also at times on the offensive side of the ball. Another notable returnee for Rashad Stokeland's team is Nick Howman, 6'5", and certainly one of the tallest guys on the team, and can dribble it down the court for Schroeder if need be. They have a few legitimate perimeter threats in addition to Inslee, including Ben Carey. The secret weapon off the bench might just be 6'5" center James Lill, a senior now, but the lineman will be taking a post-grad year for football next year. He does so much bruising work to disrupt the opposing team and is more silky and athletic than many linemen would be on a basketball court. Very exciting team there as well.
All right, Matt, great stuff as always. Thanks once again for joining us, and we'll see you right back here next week.
Thanks for having me on.
And we are back with more of the High School Sports Beat right after this. Coming up next, this week's Making the Grade nominee, and later a look back at the 82nd annual Mission Bouts from Aquinas. We'll have that when the High School Sports Beat returns. Welcome back, and thanks once again for joining us on the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. Making the grade this week is Hornell senior Jaden Ciotti. A three-sport star for the Red Raiders, Jaden has 5 varsity seasons on the soccer field and 5 on the hardwoods. Jaden also spent the last 2 seasons playing tennis for Hornell. Jaden was named Wegmans Student Athlete of the Month in 2019 and was a Livingston County Basketball All-Star when she averaged 13 points a game. Off the court, Jaden volunteers at her local YMCA and helps with youth soccer. In the classroom, Jaden carries a 93.4 average, and this week, Jaden Ciotti is making the grade. If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them in to mtg@rocksportsnow.com. And now here's some of the athletes, teams, and coaches making news in our Section 5 Spotlight. The Section 5 diving finals took place last weekend, and Bloomfield's Alex Kenyon took home his 4th straight crown, this time winning Class C and doing it with a new Class C and Section 5 record with a score of 653.15. The Class A diving champion was Pittsford's Fraser Daly, who set the then section record with a 651.15 score, only to see Alex break it the next night. Fraser's score does hold up as the Class A record, though. And Class B was won by Irondequoit's Michael Wood, who takes home his 2nd straight title, while in Class D, Harley Allendale Columbia's Alina Natrajan won the title, just beating her brother Karan, who finished 2nd. Well, coming up next, the 2014 Mission Bouts from Aquinas. Well, that when the High School Sports Beat continues.
And now to Eichel. He floated one.
Welcome back, and thanks once again for joining us on the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. We flash back now to March of 2014 for an event like no other in Rochester. Here's Bill Pucko and Dan Fates.
Do something twice, it's a habit. You do it 3 times, it's tradition. Do it 82 times, and you have the Mission Bouts. Here's Dan Fates.
1932. That's when it all began. It's tradition here, the 82nd consecutive Mission Bouts. To say it's a one-of-a-kind event is an understatement. Aquinas is one of only 2 high school teams in the country to have a boxing team. Tonight, 11 matches were set on the card.
What is this year like? What makes this year a little bit different?
We have a younger group of kids this year. So we, with the 7th and 8th grade kids, and then there's also a big group of freshmen. Typically we have a lot of junior, senior leadership, but it's up to the younger kids to lead this year.
Well, it's always been a big event. A lot of people come to support it because it's just a tradition at the school. And the kids fight their hearts out with their best of friends going in, but they fight like hell when they're in there, and their best of friends coming out.
2 first-time fighters started out the night in the junior welterweight class as Ian Haley and Sam Leonardo faced each other.
I'm just anxious. I just want to get it over with and just chill. I'm just nervous because I had 3 brothers here and they all were amazing. And I don't know, I just kind of want to win the fight and get it over with.
You're fighting another 7th grader. Do you guys train together?
Yeah, a little bit. We trained. Very nice kid, Sam. He helped me a lot.
Is it weird now to have to fight him?
Yeah, very weird. We sparred since the beginning, so it'll be fun.
While they may have been nervous, there was no shortage of punches thrown. Haley won in a split decision. For Sam Leonardo, it was just a first step inside the ring in his boxing career. Leonardo took home the first ever junior high fighter of the night.
So, what was it like seeing your younger brother box?
It was kind of scary because he gets very nervous when he gets out there. So, I mean, it was nice though. I love seeing fights, and it's even cooler when you know the person fighting.
There were plenty of former Mission Bout fighters who came back to support the event and reminisce about their time between the ropes.
I remember the sheer noise of the moment. I remember the Mission Bouts taking me from a place where I didn't have very little self-confidence to a place where my self-confidence grew greatly. I can't say enough incredibly great things about Dom Marioli, the coach. He is one of the most incredible people I had ever met in my life.
Just like the pros, each fighter gets some in-match coaching from their own corner man.
Well, the kids have worked extremely hard throughout the course of the year, and our job is merely to take what they've learned all year, because they go through a lot of emotions when they step in that ring, and our job is to keep them focused and to kind of reassure them that they have the ability to be in front of this large crowd and to put on a show, and they've done a great job so far. Your adrenaline is pumping like no other. The difference between boxing and football or boxing and soccer is that they have a team to rely on them. We are their team, and the coaches in the corner are their team. And they have a lot of courage and a lot of self-discipline in order to get in there and do what they do, and they do a hell of a job.
With the younger fighters getting their feet wet and setting the pace for the night, the crowd settled back in as the more experienced boxers took to the ring, including our girls and boys main event. Coming back after intermission, it was our lightest bout of the night. Out of the flyweight class, 2 seniors, Kevin Fox showed off his fast hands as he defeated Chris Meyer. The boys' featured bout was a pair of seniors in the light heavyweight division. Dan Ketterer got the decision over Ian Reynolds. Ketterer was given the honor of Fighter of the Night.
It's a real good honor. I worked hard for it, and I think I deserved it.
What is this whole experience, all the years that you fought? What is that like?
It's an amazing feeling to work with different kids, inspire the people, and have fun.
The girls' main event featured 2 3-time fighters. 12th grader Amanda Cook going toe-to-toe with 11th grader Sabrina Bazil.
We have senior Amanda Cook.
It's so exciting. I just like the crowds of people that come together to watch you spar, and the fact that you've been working for it all season, it just makes it so amazing.
It was obvious these girls were experienced. Cook got the better of Bazil at the end, but both girls were noticeably excited when it was named the fight of the night.
I'm so excited right now, there's no words to describe how great this is.
When you hear that there's 10 seconds left to your fight, you know you're throwing your last few punches ever in the mission bouts. What's going through your head?
That's exactly what's going through my head. Last fight ever, make it count. This is all you got. That's all that goes through my head. This boxing season just meant the world to me. I mean, the team became my family, and I've never met a group of people who just done so much for me. It's awesome.
From the red corner,
For the Vision High School Sports Beat, I'm Dan Yates.
We'd like to thank the athletes, teams, and coaches in Section 5, and if you've got a story you'd like to share with us, let us know. Send an email to rocksportsnow@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, be safe, and we'll see you back here next week for more of the High School Sports Beat.
1, 2, 1.